What's up, everybody? Today I'm be making a video about the best beginner credit cards to start with. So if you like this type of content, go ahead and give this a thumbs up. You can also hit the subscribe button. It's gonna be here or here, one of them. Yeah. So let's get started. Basically, the best first credit card I would say would definitely be the Chase Freedom. Basically, with that card, is if you spend $500, you get $200 back. And it works. It gives you points. It's basically percent. You get 5% back on rotating categories. So for April 1st to June 30th, it is fitness clubs, gym memberships, and grocery stores. And I know that gym memberships probably is not going to be that useful right now because they're all closed because of what's going on. But the grocery stores definitely will be helpful because everybody's going to the grocery store a lot. So it'd be great to get 5% back on that. So that's definitely the first card I'd recommend. It's definitely the Chase Freedom. It also gets you into the Chase ecosystem. And Chase has a rule where you can't, if you have opened more than 5 credit cards within the last 24 months, regardless of who it's with, you're going to get denied. So 5 doesn't really seem like that many, but once you get started in this game, you see how useful the bonuses are and spending categories and everything. So you start racking them up. So 5 is really nothing in the credit card game. So I would definitely recommend that first card. You get 5% back on rotating categories. It depends which quarter. I think last quarter was gas stations, streaming sites, and something else. But there's always something that is pretty useful in those categories, and 5% is really high for credit card cashback. So that's the first card I recommend. The second card is the Chase Freedom Unlimited. So it's similar to the Chase Freedom, but instead of rotating categories, you get a fixed 1.5% back on everything that you spend. So you get 1.5% cash back on every purchase that you make. So that's a bit easier for people who don't want to like see what category it is or whatever. They just want to keep it simple. Just get a standard 1.5% back. That's a great card to start with, and it also comes with that same $200 cashback once you spend 500. Again, so I'd recommend these first because of the fact that they're really easy cards to get. They come with great cashback offers, so you get $200 back after spending 500 in a span of 3 months, which is really easy. If you spend less than 500 in 3 months, probably need to be taking some advice from you. I think everybody spends at least 500 in 3 months, so you get $200 back on that, which is a great return. And they're really easy again to get, really great to get started with. And again, because of the Chase 524 rule, where you can't have more than 5 cards opened in the first 24 months or in the 24-month period. As for like some of the other ones, they're not as restrictive, so you can get those after you start with Chase. On top of that, Chase has one of the best travel portals. Really easy to use, and there's a lot of opportunity to find great flights or hotels or whatever once you do receive the bonus. Starting with these cards also gets you into gets you in with Chase basically. So when the time comes to apply for the Chase Sapphire Reserve or the Chase Sapphire Preferred, it'll be more likely that you'll get approved. And they're just great cards in general to have. They don't have an annual fee, so you can keep them forever. And I guarantee you will be using them. I actually have a Chase Freedom, and it's one of the cards that stays in my rotation constantly because of how useful it is. So those are the first 2 cards I recommend. First, I'd say the Chase Freedom, and then the Chase Freedom Unlimited. Next card I'm gonna recommend is the Bank of America Cash Rewards card. This is a great card to start with. I know a lot of people started with this card and they still have it. They still use it just because it's such a great card to have. So basically, the way that it works is you get 3% cash back on the category of your choice, and you can change that category. But the options that you have are gas, online shopping, travel, dining, drugstores, and home improvement stores. So you can choose any of these to get 3% cash back on, and then you get 2% back on grocery stores and wholesale clubs, and then you get 1% cash back on everything else. So definitely a great card. You also get $200 cash back after you spend 1,000 in the first 3 months. So definitely worth checking out. It has no annual fee, so you can keep it forever. You can always get some use out of it. So it's definitely a card worth checking out. It's one of the cards I considered when I first started on my credit card game. So I definitely recommend that card. The fourth card I'm gonna recommend is the American Express Blue Cash Everyday card. This card comes with a bonus of $150 after you spend 1,000 in the first 3 months, and you get 3% back on U.S. supermarkets, and then you get 2% back at gas stations, and you get 1% back on everything else. So this is a pretty good card for some decent categories, and there's no annual fee, so it's a good card to start with. It looks nice. It has a nice design. American Express also has great customer support, so if you have a problem, they take care of it pretty quick, and they're also known for being pretty easy to get. Their cards normally don't require like a, a great credit score, or in the sense if you're just starting out a credit score at all. So this is definitely a card worth considering for your first card. It's not bad. I've actually considered getting it just because I like the way the card looks. But yeah, the categories are pretty good, and the $150 cashback is definitely pretty competitive for entry level cards. The fifth card I'm gonna recommend is the Citi Double Cash card. It's a very simple card. It's really not much to explain. Basically, you get 1% back when you spend, when you swipe the card, and then you get another 1% when you pay it back. So basically, you get 2% cash back on every purchase that you make. So there's no rotating categories, um, nothing really too difficult about this card. You basically just get 2% on everything. Um, the, I would probably recommend all the other cards that I listed before this card, just because this card has no sign up bonus or no welcome bonus really, while the other ones do, and they have a little bit of a higher uh, cashback percentage wise. So I'd probably recommend all of those cards first, but this is definitely a card to consider as it's a great first card. Just because it's so simple and so easy, you don't have to worry about anything. You just know everything that you spend, getting 2% cash back on. And of course, it has no annual fee, so you can keep this card forever. The next two cards I'm going to recommend are the Discover It Cashback card and the Discover It Secured card. So first, the Discover It Cashback card is very similar to the Chase Freedom. You get 5% back on rotating categories and then 1% cash back on everything else. The difference is that it doesn't have a sign up bonus in the first 3 months, but instead, all the cash back that you earn at the end of your first year, they match it. So let's say you earn $100 cash back at the end of your first year, they'll match it with another 100, so you end up earning 200. But that's only for the first year. So I think that the Chase Freedom is a better card to start with. But this is definitely a pretty good card to start with as well. Discover it's an easy card to get approved for, so it's definitely a good beginner card. Um, the Discover It Secured card is a little bit different. So the way that secured card works are if you're not sure that you're gonna pay your balance, or you don't want to really risk accumulating a bunch of debt, maybe you just want to play it safe for your first card. The way that secured card works is you put a deposit on the card, and you can only spend up to that much on the card. So you can put 500, then you only have $500 to spend on that card. So there's no way that you're gonna accumulate a bunch of debt or go out of control or make any kind of mistakes because there's already a preset limit on it. Um, so it's great to consider if you're a little bit worried that you're not going to be that responsible, or maybe you're still building up your credit. Um, I mean, I definitely would recommend that if you're going to be getting a credit card, that you pay off the balance in full every month. But you can start with a secured card too, just to play it safe if you like. This also has the first year cashback match, so everything that you spend in the first year will be matched, and it comes with 2% back at gas stations, and I believe it's also 2% at restaurants. So 2% at gas stations and restaurants you get back. So these are both good cards to consider. Um, like I said, I'd probably consider the cards that I listed before, all of the ones before, but these are also not bad consideration. Last card I'm recommending is the Capital One Quicksilver card. Very easy to explain. You get 1.5% cash back on every purchase, and then you get $150 cash back after spending $500 in the first 3 months. So of course, all of these cards have no annual fee. They all also have no intro APR. So basically, you don't owe any interest in the first year in case you don't make a payment. Um, I mean, not that you don't make a payment, but you don't pay it in full, which I still, of course, would recommend. Recommend always every month paying it off in full, but it's just good to know. All of these cards have 0% APR. They're all great cards to start with. I probably get them in the list that I ordered them. But if you have any questions or any comments, feel free to leave them down below. I'll answer all of them. Any questions about any of these cards? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Like this type of content. If you have any recommendations, any questions, any video ideas, feel free to leave them down below. Definitely consider them. And thanks for watching.